Hello, welcome to YOLO with ToLo. Ooh, I look a mess, child. Turn that light down. But anyway, hey, what's up? We're trying this one more time. We're gonna try to get Toan in here. You know, we're still having audio issues with the Facebook platform for the group chat. I don't know why it does this, but anyway. How have you guys been? We've got a big celebration today. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? How's life in San Francisco? Let's see here if I can get Toan on there, if he's in here yet. Okay. Why don't I don't see Toan. Where is he? Let's see. Yeah, they can do that. Hey, I'm moving back to the city. I didn't even know you moved from the city. Lord, are you like way in the East Bay or North Bay or somewhere now? I didn't even realize you even moved from the city. And don't tell me you've been moved for like 2 or 3 years, because then I'm gonna really be like, oops. There's Toan, okay. Where did you move from, Jeremy? You live in San Mateo. Okay, that's still good.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Episode 42.
Yes.
Hey, do you know what?
Listen.
Before we even get started and let you guys know what today's topic is, it's a special day up in here. Do you know the song? You guys know the song?
Taking it way back.
I don't even think that some of the millennials know the song. Tony.
Tony. That's that good old school music.
Can you believe it's been 1 year? Over
an entire year. That's insane. That went by very quickly.
Yeah, since we started YOLO with ToLo, baby. What's up? Can you believe it? I was like, what? I was just like looking at my notes here and I was like, what? Episode 42?
Episode 42.
Hey, David from
Spain, how are you doing?
España. Good. How are you? Kevin is Kevin's in the other room, by the way. I'm in San Francisco. It looks like you're at home. But yeah, this is our 1-year anniversary, and I'm doing great. Kevin is our producer today. So,
yay. I've been resting all week. I injured my knee last week, so I've been in bed and limping around like the sick and the shut-in for a week. So I've had no choice but to relax, release.
I think the universe is telling you to relax. So wait, what happened? You just woke up? Is this what happens? Is this what I have to look forward to when I turn your age?
This is what happens when you get old. The only thing it could be was from working out in the gym, pretty aggressively the previous week. And then I just woke up on Monday and could not walk.
That's so weird.
It was excruciatingly painful. I mean, I won't give you all the nitty gritties of like the pains of trying to use the restroom and things. I mean, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk down the stairs I couldn't do anything. So I finally saw a doctor. They x-rayed to make sure, but each day it's gotten a little better now. So I don't have full functionality of it, but it's a lot better than it was.
So they don't even know the root cause of it, because I saw like on your Insta stories that you were getting an MRI and they still don't know what's up.
Yeah, well, I'm getting that we were waiting for that back. So now afterwards, it's not anything, nothing's extremely abnormal. They think it was probably a sprain or something from the from working out, at the gym trying to do the most.
Because you've been working out a lot more or what? That I don't know.
Yeah, probably my body was probably in shock that I was actually working out. That's probably more realistic.
You know what I've done is I haven't like worn a suit in a long time, so I'll go to weddings or whatever and I'll put on a suit and it's like not fitting me anymore, but it's kind of reverse because for me because I have been getting rid of my clothes because my shoulders have gotten too big because I've been going to CrossFit like 5 to 7 times a week, which I don't know if that's really that good for me, but I love it. It's fun.
And there are worse habits to have.
Yes.
You could be going to the buffet fried chicken buffet 5 to 7 times a week. So CrossFit is probably the better option if you've got to have.
So maybe next time you're in San Francisco, I'll take you to my gym, and
we'll see how my knee's feeling.
Okay, I'm gonna send you some love and send some healing vibes your way. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, you're just waking up and you're like, my knee
cannot move. Yeah, it was crazy. So you never take your health for granted. Your good health is
basically. Ugh. Anyway, okay, we can't take our time for granted either because we got a lot to talk about today.
We do.
Our
We do.
first
We do. We
topic
do.
is Tolo's topics and hot topics. And everybody and their mama, if you've not heard about the Varsity Blues drama, I don't know where you've been, but what the heck? And you know, both of you and I are college educated. Where did you go to college again? Tell everybody.
Pepperdine University, private school in Southern
Yeah, and
California.
I went to a private school too. I went to the University of San Francisco, and my parents, let me tell you, gave me a whopping $500 total for my whole college career. Yeah.
Mine told me to get a job to have some money. So yeah, neither one of us came from privilege.
Yeah, right. And so with this, for me, I was just like, I wasn't. The sad thing is, like, I wasn't surprised that there was all this wealth and privilege, and yet I don't even know if you call it like part. I mean, it could have been part nepotism, could have been. Well, it had to do with a lot of money and greed and power issues. But
and fraud.
yeah, my God, when I saw it, I was just like, what the heck? Like, from SAT scores being boosted to this
athletic ability and their athletic stuff being
manipulated. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I can't say that I was surprised either. I mean, that's just the American way.
Well, come on now, not the American way for us.
The American reality.
Okay, yeah, we're Americans, but
it may not be our ideal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole police brutality thing. People were like, they're making that all up in your head until like video cameras and everybody had a phone.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, oh, well, maybe there is something more to it. So it's like we buy into this whole marketing plan that we've been sold on all these ideals, which I think are beautiful. But the execution and the practice of it doesn't reflect that at all. So for those of us who have seen this all of our lives, like myself, I just don't find it surprising.
Yeah.
At all, and I don't feel sorry for any of them.
See, I don't know about that, but for me, I wasn't surprised. I agree with that, but I feel bad for the kids. If the kids didn't know, and there's not a lot of information out about the kids, but that I've read, but you know, if the kids didn't know about it, I feel bad because I'm just like, you didn't know that your parents did this, and you know, here you are thinking that you know, got a good SAT scores and got it all on merit and got in on merit and all that, and then now, like, what do you do? So I don't know. A part of me, my empathy bone is kind of feeling bad for the kids if they didn't know about it. You're not buying it.
That's so... No, I don't buy it. I'm like, because listen, you need to know the truth. If your skills and your skill set is not up to par, you shouldn't be lied to, because at some point you're going to have to face the real world. So it should have happened when you were a child. Your parents should have groomed you in the real world, or you know how the real world actually works, not the insular world they've created.
If you didn't know, no. But if say the kid didn't know, you still don't feel bad. That's cold. You still don't feel bad with it.
I'm not saying that it's not. I mean, no, I don't feel bad, but you know, some parents suck.
Well, the parents suck, but it has nothing. What does that have to do with the kid? Like, if you're
right, yeah, the kid has to be. Yeah, I don't know, but so what? I don't know how my feeling sorry is gonna. I don't know. I just don't feel sorry for them. I don't mean to sound callous or. It's an unfortunate situation, for everybody involved because it kind of discredits the whole education process. Yeah. But no, I just don't feel so. You know, there are worse things happening to kids that are beyond their control that I definitely feel sorry for. This, not so much.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Maybe maybe I need to go do some more meditating. I don't know.
Oh my God. Kevin on the other side, so he said, in the words of Uncle Jesse, have mercy.
Have mercy.
Because, of course, for those of you guys that don't know, Lori Loughlin, who played Uncle Jesse's, was it wife or girlfriend? It was his wife, right? In the show. Anyway.
I think it was
his partner, whatever. Yeah, in Full House was, you know, accused of this being a part of this scam. Have mercy. Anyway, whoa, yeah. So all I could say is from my experience, like, okay, so I don't feel bad for the parents, but the kids, like, if you don't know about it, they're like, they didn't know. If they didn't know, I don't know. That's just my standpoint. But all I can speak is from my own experience. And let me tell you, like I said, my parents could only afford $500. USF, the University of San Francisco, is super expensive. I think it was upwards of, like, with housing and tuition and food and room and board, everything was like $25,000 the first year. And of course, it goes up every year. And I remember, I don't think I've shared this story like publicly yet, but when I applied to USF, I really wanted to go there because I was like, oh, all these kids that were bused into my high school, there was rich kids and there were people like us poor on welfare or whatever. And I was like, wait, one of my best friends, she went to private school for junior high school. And I was like, what? How come I didn't have that option? What is private school? I didn't come from that class, that socioeconomic, like, you know, place. So I did take the SAT scores and I was like, you know what? I kind of don't care, whatever. And I didn't know the importance or the perceived importance of it about getting into college and admissions and all that. Cause I was just like, whatever, you know what? This was written by probably by some old white guy and I'm not an old white guy. So whatever's not written for me. Blip, blip, blip. And you know what? I think I even spelled my name wrong. You know, like there's like spaces where you're supposed to fill in the spaces, like the empty spaces. So my name was Toan Lam So you know I lost some points for that. Anyway, so I got into USF in a conditional acceptance. And I remember at the time, one of the journalism professors, who Michael Robertson, who worked at the San Francisco Chronicle for I think well over a decade, won awards and whatnot for writing. He looked at he pulled out the file. And I remember in his like really like adorable, I don't know if it's like a Southern accent or what, but anyway, he was like, Toan Lam. He was like, your SAT scores like you don't match with your grades, because I got good grades. And then he's like, your grades. And then he's like, and then when we saw your essay, he's like, your essay was so good. And I didn't realize how big of a deal that was for him to say it was good, because he was like a really well-respected journalist in the department. Long story short, he was like, you have one semester to prove yourself. And if you don't get I think it was a 3.0 average, then, you know, you can't continue at the school. Fast forward, I started mentoring and I interned 5 times and blah, 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 and ended up graduating. And then later, he invited me to go back and teach at that university for a few semesters. And I've been teaching at another university here for over a decade. So I understand the value and importance of it. And yes, some students seem like they don't care, but again, you don't know what's going on in their lives. So you have to come from it like the vantage point of like, well, you don't know their stories. That's kind of where I'm coming from here. It's like, I partly like, I don't feel bad for the parents, because, you know, I'm still paying for my own tuition, you know, like now I still have college debt. I'm still paying for it. I had to pay my own way. I barely got any help from family because they couldn't afford it. So I don't feel bad for the parents, but the kids, I don't know. Just,
well, I'll let you have the pity party for the children. I'm going to go to the hump.
But, you know, my point too, this is the thing that pisses me off, and then end of rant, okay, is that, you know, you've heard a lot of privileged people say, you know, there's slots being taken away, but these minorities because affirmative action, blah, blah, blah. And all I got to say is, what you got to say now? Are you just equally as pissed now?
That's a whole other show.
We ain't got time for it.
Anyway. Now I'm in the hump, and now I'm in a
yes.
Now I'm depressed.
So let's go to segment 2, dump the hump. Okay, so now this is where we kind of talk about this week's topic and how we are dumping the hump or the humps in our lives around this sort of topic. So our topic this week is like anniversaries and how special. I can't tell you how after I hang up after this call, or you know, get on our debrief call with our producers, or you know, every time I just get off the phone with you, I just feel like my cell phone battery has been recharged, but my battery is my heart, right? And it just feels so good. Yeah. And that was the intention for this. And y'all have heard, those of you guys that have watched, you've heard about how Lonnell and I have met. And if you haven't, in a nutshell, we just magically met somebody. I met a friend of a friend in LA. They were like, your energy is just like Lonnell. Coincidence. Right. Somebody was like, oh, you know, you got to meet Lonnell. Lonnell, who lives in Atlanta, pops up there right at the moment. She about to bring up your name. And voila, you and I have talked ever since. Voila. And we're just like, how do we share this like excitement and what we're talking about? And because we always talk about how, you know, and we grow each other. I mean, I can speak from my point of view. Like when I speak with you, I not only get re-energized, but there's this big gift exchange of energy that you cannot feel when you're on your devices, just looking at the devices, not engaging. I mean, we're using a device now, but it's been so special.
Very, very special. And I feel the same way. It's just been, it's like I have somebody that's accountable, and it's always exciting when you get someone who gets it. When you know, because a lot of times when you like are on the spiritual journey, you're especially when you're trying to get out of a funk or like trying to actually dump a hump in your life, you are, you know, it's hard to actually find somebody that gets it. So when you have somebody that gets it, and you meet them, and then they hold you accountable, and you hold each other accountable, it's just like glorious.
Yeah.
So of course you look forward to it, because it's like, okay, there's that little beacon of light and energy, that spark that I'm going to need this week, and that's what I love about connections like ours, and then hopefully being able to share it with other people, and that they
you made me cry, boo. No, but seriously, like these are tears of joy that I'm wiping off my face right now. But no, seriously, it's like to know that you have somebody there that sees you and that feels you, and that, like, I don't want your money, I don't need your, I don't need anything from you, but the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, and it's the thing with us too is this, like, you know, we both, you know, are at a place in our lives where we just want to see ourselves grow, and for us to grow more into our power. That's my words, but your words are, you want people to stand more in their light.
How are you standing in your light?
Yeah.
You gotta stand in it every day. You gotta find your light every day. You must find your
and
light.
It's harder now than ever, boo, right?
Yes.
Right? I know.
It's interesting because, you know, we've become so dependent on technology. And then when days like yesterday happened, where Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all went down, and the world's freaking out.
No, that was Wednesday.
Like, it was about, you know, people are like going nuts.
Wednesday. Yeah, that was crazy.
I didn't even know. Now, you know, I'm always trying to still detox, and I'm like the biggest social addict. But I had no idea that the systems were even down.
Okay.
So I too much knee pain.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened with me, and we could talk more about that in digital detox. But in short, this is how sad it was. That once I was trying to get on Instagram, and then I was like, why isn't stuff not loading? And why can't I, can't get on it? But you know what? The interesting part was, then I was like, I thought something was wrong with my phone. So I like rebooted my phone. But I was in the moment and that day I just happened to have a lot of meetings with different friends and people for business. And so I was just like not even on the device. And going back to, like, you know, this whole anniversary, it's special to me because, you know, the biggest gift you can give other people is the gift of you. And I think that you and I have dedicated, every week we're busy. There's a lot of stuff you and I are doing. We're traveling.
A lot of stuff going on.
We're traveling.
But you need that. But that's an example of the overall theme that we talk about all the time. It's like, no matter how busy and hectic your life is, you've got to carve out a moment each day for yourself. And that's what we've been able to do on a weekly basis. So it's like, no, you've got to be able to do that. You must put yourself on your schedule. So it's just essential to survival, as far as I'm concerned. For me, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, for me too. I was just trying to I was taking some notes here, and I was just like, gosh, like, how do I even put into words this whole experience that you and I have been through here? And the thing is, you know, we're not doing this for, we want 50 million views, or we want 50 million likes, or we're trying to do something big or whatever, grandiose, whatever with this. We just said, you know what, every week we're going to hold each other accountable, have talks about things that are important to us, important to people, the conversations we've been having with people. Tribe. Yeah.
Right.
And then I love that we
and as the tribe grows, it does what it's supposed to do. But as long as you're consistent with putting forth the energy, then you're going to get what you're supposed to get. And then other people, as they are ready to receive that information, will be drawn to it. I just believe that in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
What you
what
want to get out.
That's one of the biggest life lessons, right? What you put out is what you get back. And this is the important thing. So many people are just like, you know, I've been having a lot of conversations with putting content out and putting yourself out there. And so many people are like, oh, but, you know, followers and likes, and, you know, not a lot of people are liking it or following it. And you know what the crazy thing is? It's like, even with my Instagram, or even with this YOLO with ToLo talk, we're just putting out there, and sometimes we're like, okay, maybe 2 people watching, 20, sometimes a few hundred, sometimes 700. But, you know, we're not even paying attention to that. What we are paying attention to is this present moment that we're having with one another, and this exchange of wisdom that we're sharing with each other, you and me, and with the other people that are watching, the audience. And my favorite part is really engaging with, there's two parts, really. I mean, like, it's of course engaging with you, but then also the audience. What's your favorite part?
No, I definitely love the Tolo talk with Tolo. I'm like get on my T's that's stuck here. But no, I love the engagement and the interaction with guys because I always learn
Yeah.
something. I don't have all the information, and people are all who typically chime in on the conversations always end up offering some nugget or gem that I need in that moment. So that's what I love about it. It's like my spirit is constantly being fed.
I like that. Yeah, it really is solar spirit food, right? It's like supersizing the meal. Yeah, sure, we're talking with you. So speaking about those gems, so let's. I'm curious as to know what were your ahas or your most like seminal moments of the highlights of what you've learned or like any ahas you had.
I've had several. I think that the main thing, the biggest thing for me is this just been the importance of accountability and having the connection and constantly being committed to making the conversation happen. That's probably been the most important thing for me. There have been some ahas along the way, definitely, but definitely what's been of most value to me is honoring the commitment. Because it's not always convenient, especially when you're in every corner of the world.
Like us too. Yeah, we've been traveling. We did a lot. Yeah. We clocked a lot of miles,
a lot of
traveling
miles
this year, right? And for me, you know what? For me, it just surprises me every single conversation. I'm just trying to think about, I've been through a big loss in the last 2 years. My brother-in-law passed away suddenly, and I also learned that it's okay to be. It's okay to sit in that pain. And it's okay. And you taught me that because one time you're like, why are you running around? Like, remember, you're like, why are you running around the gym, run around it, trying to do 2 workouts, doing this, doing that, trying to numb or be too busy for that pain. And and I've learned so much about being in the flow. But I think what the foundation, and you hit the nail on the head, is the fact that, every week we are busy, but unless we're sick or like we're traveling because there's some issue, we really, we've been sticking to it. There's been 42 episodes, baby.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
I know. Let's jump to our next your favorite segment, the segment 3, Talk to Tolo.
Talk to Tolo.
Somebody here had asked, what did this whole adventure of YOLO teach you both spiritually?
Oh, it teaches me so much spiritually all the time. What is the whole adventure taught me?
Yeah. Oh, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to put into words. I mean, really, I guess the big takeaway is just, the important, I don't know so much that it's taught me that or that it's reminded me how important it is to constantly engage in the practice of the principles that we talk about. Because sometimes you hear stuff, you get it from a lecture, you get it from a sermon, and then you go back out, you leave the church or the classroom, and then you go back out and do what you were doing right before. So this whole journey reminds me that, so other people are paying attention as well. Other people are interested. You're interested in them. And so the adventure of it all is just really reminding me of the importance of staying in the process and constantly practicing the principles. That's probably the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, for me, I was just gonna say accountability. That's the hugest thing that this has all done for me because with anything that you do, whether it's working out or eating right or digitally detoxing or making time to, I love your face when I say digitally detox. That's your face. But
right, I don't hear you.
Right? But think about it, right? It's like, we've fallen off in terms of like when you're traveling or I'm traveling, or like there's times when you've been on the plane and there's been delays, or when I'm traveling and I just realized, I guess with the internet here sucks, we can't do this, or Facebook having a lot of audio issues in certain days. But we know that we're holding each other accountable, and if that doesn't happen that week, we're self-care, right, is all a part of being gentle with yourselves and saying, look, I shouldn't have eaten that burrito or that cookie, but it's okay because I'm
that bag of cookies.
Get back on that horsey, right? So, right. So look, that's God speaking right there with that the cop sirens, police sirens, but yeah, the accountability, and for me, it's been. I like to talk a lot, surprise, but I have been writing a gratitude journal, and I write 5 things that I appreciate almost every night. Some days you fall asleep or something happens, you can't do it. But to me, this is sort of an extension of that. And my biggest challenge for everybody is to find your tribe, find somebody you can talk to, talk with, that holds you accountable. Because I don't know about you, but this has trained me to pay attention of more of the gifts in the world and be more in the present moment, because what we talk about every week is shaped upon the conversations you and I are having with our friends, our people, or strangers, or questions or comments that people have posted either on our wall or that have DM'd us, right? So I'm training myself to pay attention to that moment more, so that, because I know I'm going to report to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives you things to look forward to, being grateful for, and that changes the whole vibration and the whole energy of your day. Instead of going through the day looking for things to be pissed off about, or the things that annoy you, you're looking for things to be grateful for, and that's where the trajectory changes. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the second question, that's so cool. I mean, this has been one of the biggest gifts. I mean, like, that money you can't even buy. You know?
Yeah.
So second question is, are you guys real friends in real life? I think it's a joke, but
no, they just say.
You know what I feel like too? It's like sometimes I feel like when we are talking, well, a lot of times it's like we're little boys just playing, like our spirits are playing, and we've been able to we've done like a couple of episodes like in real life where we're sitting next to each other, like in New York,
right, and that's always fun.
And it's fun.
So yes, we're definitely friends in real life, not just Facebook friends like a lot of y'all. No tea, no shade. we're actually real friends.
And it's just so great that, you know, like, again, like I said, when you see one another, you just get it, you know, and there's no drama, there's no ego. We're just there to support one another, and it's beautiful.
Right.
And you know, if anything, that's been the biggest gift for me, because, you know, you and I have walked through some dark times together, you know, and in our lives. And so just to have like this sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of like a brotherhood, right? I mean, I'm not discounting women, because like I have friends with a lot of women, love women, but you know, you see like The View, or you see these other either talk shows and or other, you know, digital segments that it's just like geared towards the people that spend a lot of money, women between ages of 18 and 25. And while we do have people, that a lot of women that watch us, you know, there's a sense of brotherhood and sometimes sisterhood with us too. But you know, but right.
See, all of that. I'm like, we all spend money, but no, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. But it speaks to the importance of finding your tribe, honoring your tribe, and celebrating your tribe. And so and your tribe doesn't have to be that large. So that's the thing that we've discovered, and that's one of the things that I definitely love about the whole connection, the whole blessing that this journey has been, continues to be.
And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And you know, another big blessing this year is I do feel like I am much more aware when I pick up my phone. So naturally, segment number 4 is the digitally detox. Yes. How you doing in your digital detox, boo? Digital detox, boo.
I didn't think I was doing so well this week, because like I said, I've been laying up in the bed today and yesterday. I've been binge watching the Noah's Ark series. For people that remember, it was the first series on Logo. It was about 4 black gay guys who lived in the LA area. I've been binge watching those DVDs, but and on my phone. But I didn't realize, speaking back about the outage, the Facebook, Instagram outage, I didn't even realize that had happened. So apparently I wasn't on the phone as much as I thought.
Oh, okay.
So for me not know it, and it was out for the whole day.
Digital high five there.
So I survived. I survived the outage.
Yeah. Digital high five.
Like, I didn't even know there was one.
Like I said, by default.
Did you survive the outage?
Let's be real. By default, though, I was out to lunch with my buddy Yoni, and so we're out to lunch talking about life and like content and digital content and life and how we can share more of us with people. And so when I saw that, I thought something was wrong with my phone. And so I reset my phone. And then actually when I'm at lunch with people, unless I have to check the time or like know that I have, you know, something that an important document or a deadline or something, then I'll check the phone. But I like to turn my phone, put it in my bag, or turn my phone face side down. And so I didn't even realize that it was out for that whole day. But I do know a certain individual that I will not out, who is female about 21 years old that I know that was like seriously, she was like, oh my God, oh, I can't upload this. And my conversation says apparently she was saying that her conversations with the friend she was having, and then all of a sudden her conversation disappeared. And then the conversation that they were having like 2 minutes ago reappeared. And her conversation, that her reply was gone. And I was like, namaste, girl. Tranquilo. Chill out. You know? It's like, it ain't the end of the world, is it?
Is it? And if it is, that's really sad because you're really at the hands of whoever manipulates those platforms and owns them. They own you. So you've got to have some. You've got to have some social and survival skills outside of the phone.
Yeah, and you know what? People are addicted to drugs, sex, alcohol, and work. And
maybe we could open a business of like phone rehab or something.
There are. Do you know there are?
There needs to be. There should be, because we've got some full-blown addicts out here in this world.
Well, Lisa Ling's special.
I'm a functioning
She had an episode on This Is Life, her show on CNN, where it was about digital addiction, and it showed people going to phone rehab.
I love that.
But Facebook users, this is the last update within that I Googled it before this call, on our pre-production call, and I was just like, let's see like what people have to say. And the last thing I saw was actually Wednesday, and Facebook says that in a statement they blamed it on a, quote, server configuration change that triggered a cascading series of issues, end quote.
Oh, they have such a warm and fuzzy publicity department. Get your privacy issues together. Fix the audio on this platform. Come on now. You're not the number one platform for, by accident. Act like it. Act like you want to stay and remain there. I'm just saying.
I know, because we've thought about maybe just doing this on Instagram, because we're having too many audio issues on this.
It's just crazy. I mean, yeah, it's just like they've got a lot. I saw that one of their executives is gone. I just saw a blurb about that today or something. But I don't know. It just seems like there needs to be another level of transition there, because they've just had a series of issues over the last year with the privacy stuff and selling people's data and all that crap.
They did not have a good year. They did not have a good year.
Yeah. So they got to get back on track with all of that.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin says Facebook's chief product officer left. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But let me ask you this question, because I've been talking to Kevin about content, and some people have been like, oh, I missed this and that, and are you going to do this, or what are you going to put out there? Are you going to put some more stuff out there on Facebook, Twitter, and blah, 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 blah. Aside from YOLO with ToLo, and we've been talking about that, but a part of me just kind of just wants to go to the countryside and just get off of all this. Instagram, Facebook.
I want to go to the seaside and do the same thing.
But could we do it? Does somebody want to sponsor us to do it? No, right?
Yeah, right. That part right there.
Because I don't know, like,
these bills still have to be paid. Yeah. But no, right?
I can't tell you how many times people misconstrue stuff that I like, or want stuff from me because it's stuff that I post or whatever, or just like don't get the point, And I'm like, I'm tired of like, oh, I thought you were at this place, and why did you say you were at that place? I saw your upload, and I was like, well, that upload was a TBT. Why do I even have to explain that this is a, like a later
you
place?
Don't have to explain it.
Basically.
Okay, I don't owe you explanation about it from my timeline.
Yeah. But
get over yourself.
But and then somebody, when I was in Peru, I went there for 3 weeks. I did not. I'm Asian. I'm cheap, so I didn't buy a phone plan for my phone. And I'm just like, wherever I get free Wi-Fi, and I don't even need to be on the phone that much if I'm in such a beautiful, magical place. If you haven't been to Peru, y'all gotta go. But anyway, so when I was in the countryside of Cusco, I was just like, whatever, took photos because I enjoy taking photos. I take a quick photo, I put it in my bag. And I'm one of those people who people are like, why do you take photos of your food? I like to. It's fun. It's like art for me. But I'll take a quick photo. I don't spend like not even a minute doing it. Snap, and then I put it away. And then at night, when I was in Peru, I would, get on the internet and then like batch, capture or whatever the stories and upload the stories. And somebody, when I came back, somebody at my gym was like, my God, you look like you were on the phone the whole time, even though I enjoyed seeing your stories. And I was like, actually, I was only on at night, and I just spent a few minutes, like, batch uploading. He's like, oh, you can batch upload? I didn't know. So I was like, those type of things, I'm just like, shut up, get on my nerves. And another thing, I don't post a lot of stuff, actually. People think I'll post, I just post things that I want to share with the world that are real. But I, when you post too much, guess what? there are a lot of spies or people that are just watching that are looky-loos to see what you're doing and where whereabouts you are.
Right.
You know, they're just nosy. So what we're gonna do with this social media? We're using it now. Kevin says people who think they know you based on your social media posts.
Based on your social media posts. Yeah, they don't know. You know the highlight reel, or you know a fraction, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in between those time stamps.
Somebody told me and tried to shame me about like, oh, I knew you had deep issues because I saw your post about the suicide thing and it took you that long to post. And I was like, no, you didn't. You know, I was like, well, everybody in their own time grieves, and I didn't have to share anything at all about it. You know,
Right.
It's just
right.
I was like, don't try to shame me.
Okay, like adios, Felicia.
No. Bye, Felicia. And then that person wanted to hang out. I was like,
yeah, no, I think not.
Exactly.
I'm reducing the toxins. I'm not intaking anymore.
Basically.
Thanks.
Exactly. So maybe we need to reduce this time on Facebook. And wait, offline, I need to talk to you about when you can come visit your vacation.
Okay.
Especially,
which should have been this weekend, but I can't walk, so I couldn't walk. But
okay. So as we wrap here, I want to know your let's talk about our one challenge we have to the people that are listening. Because let me tell you, you know what? Like if one person watches and their life changes, like somebody who was like, you know what? I wanted to move and I didn't move, and now I sold my house and I'm moving because I heard Lonnell said choose faith or choose fear, and I heard your conversations about trusting with the plan. Like, people, there's been several people actually who are just like, you know what? I needed that. I needed to hear that today. You made my day better. What kind of challenge would you give on this one anniversary and all this wisdom that we've been able to?
The challenge I'm having still, the one or two people there's a couple people that I'm really close to that are really like trying to work these principles. My challenge is still being patient, because they will see things happening, but then constantly still kind of revert to their old ways and their old things. It's like you're making the step, and then as soon as something manifests, then you're like back to where you were instead of building on that.
Yeah.
And I just have my challenge is trying to remain patient through the process, because I'm just like, child.
What's your challenge for them though?
To believe and trust the process. Pay attention to what's happening and understand how it all fits in the bigger picture. And when you're looking back at where you were and where you are now, to kind of understand how that works and then to build on that. So
I like that.
Yeah, I would want them to kind of understand and be and just be a little more accountable and a little more trusting of principles.
With that said too, are you in my mind? Because I was just gonna say like trust and believe. But I also believe in that to achieve or to make manifest, you got to start taking those actions that feel right. Follow your heart. Like if that means for you love to write and you're embarrassed to write, like set a little time aside for every week, every day, to even if it's 15 or 30 minutes a day or a week to write. If it's about manifesting, more, a lot of people have been actually DMing me on Insta and different places and asking me more about meditation. And like, I'm, it's not like I went to school for it. I've just been doing it for a while. And I just am like, you know what, just start the practice. If it's one day, if it's 10 breaths that you have a day, start there. If it's 1 minute you have a day, promise yourself, hold yourself accountable for something. That's my challenge. If it's 1 minute a day for a month, great. Then add another minute, and every month at the end of the year will be 12 minutes of meditating. If it's to have talks like this, you and I have been having talks like this, not for money, not for anything else, but to share and learn, then just do it, right?
Just do it.
Just do it. And maybe we should end with this. I hope your day gets better, boo. See you guys later.
All righty, Tony. See you guys soon.